Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time, it's how you operate a cadence. Afloat, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, know what you wanna be. Everybody just do your thing. Everybody just do your thing.
Whoa.
That's
what we call in radio a cold ending.
Yeah, I just shut it off. I was like, whoop. Yeah, I just shut it off. Oh, I'm getting feedback.
Oh, you're behind a little bit. You're talking and then you're not. You got a delay going on. Look at your video. Sorted out.
No, it seems I don't know. Can you hear me now?
It's not on my hands.
All right. Well, does it still sound like I have a delay? Sounds like it's gone. I think whenever I'm playing that video
huge delay.
Really?
Let me be right back. Yeah,
Okay,
it's too bad for me to even try.
So hey, check on your on your left. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I am JJW. This is youtube.com/JJW8071. We are your two dads, Monday through Friday, 6:30 in the morning. Let me switch over to the overhead camera. Bloop. Makes me feel like I'm looking up to you, which is exactly how I should feel. I should feel like I'm looking up to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday. It is Monday, September 12th, 2022, and we've got news. Not very much news. I have to admit, should have done something with my hair. I'm a little late this morning. We had our stories kind of picked out, but I didn't schedule the show for the automator thing or whatever. I should have done that. So it took me a minute to run startup. And also, if I'm being really honest, I was playing Borderlands 3 the last couple of days. I was playing this other game. I played Control, and that was really cool. And then the last few days I started playing Borderlands 3. So I got up like an hour ago, and I was like, shoot, and that's a funny anyway. That's why I'm. Part of it is that I didn't set up the schedule for the show, and then I realized at the last minute, like, oh, we don't have anything to join. That's difficult.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to join early, and I looked and I was like,
happened?
oh shit, I can't join early.
Whoops. Yeah, so my bad, everybody. Good morning, Deacon. How are you? How's your weekend? How are you
What's
feeling?
up?
Is this a good start of the week?
Well, I mean, I actually am not. I just have a little bit of snot in my nose. I feel completely fine. If I could just, it takes one blow to get all this mess out.
Yeah.
We had a pretty busy weekend, and I screwed my back up Saturday night pretty bad. So yesterday I was walking around like a little old 90-year-old man. And so last night, I mean, I'm one of these people. I don't take medicine. I don't take pills or anything like that.
I don't like to.
I don't either. I've watched too many of my family members die, and including my mom, from pills. So I don't like them. And so I just got fed up last night at like 9 o'clock, and I was like, screw this. I'm tired of hurting. And I went and took a couple of ibuprofen. So that's, I mean, when I get pissed, I go take ibuprofen. So, if I'm taking ibuprofen, something's wrong.
That's not good.
And then I rubbed some of this. We've got this lotion stuff, this pain cream stuff that I rubbed on my lower back. And this morning I woke up and I was like, hey, I can stand up straight. So it's been rather a good day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good day.
That's good.
So, yeah. So
well, last week you were not feeling good at all.
No, that shit hit me for 2 weeks. And I've talked to several people over the weekend that was like, oh yeah, we had that too. And we had that too. It was like an upper respiratory thing that was going on in our area.
Spring and fall, man. In the spring it happens, the pollen comes out, and then in the fall it happens again. I don't know what's up. It has to do with the weather, and I don't know
it's the I mean, stuff like that are changing. I mean, the plants do a lot of stuff that we are not in tune to,
Right. Well, I mean, we're all kind of like victims of being involuntarily involved in plant sex life.
It's true. That's true.
I don't want to be involved.
You're not lying. You're not lying at all. You're like, oh, this flower smells pretty. It's like,
I got your seed all in my nose.
What that is. We can use different words to describe pollen.
Well, I used to love smelling flowers until I listened to you talk about it. All right.
Just call it something different. And you don't enjoy smelling flowers anymore. The power of words.
Yeah. Wow. So, Deacon, thank you. You picked out a bunch of stories to talk about today.
I saw some cool stuff over the weekend.
Yeah. And I feel like there's one that you really want to talk about, like how let me see what it was, the boys and the Rings of Power one. I feel like you have like strong opinions about that one.
I don't even remember that one. Let me
see.
Well,
we'll get around to it. Obviously, yeah,
I remember that one.
Obviously, the Queen died last week, and like the whole, I know we talked about it, and I threw a bunch of opinions out last week. The whole world is like, it's like every news story again and again and again. Oh, the Queen's dead. King Charles III, he proclaimed Prince William, Harry. And like, for like all of us, like this shit don't matter, man. Like you guys have a pretend king over in England. And like, why is this important? Why is this taking up so much in the news cycle?
She was a big lady.
I mean, she was important, but like, I mean, was like England kind of like
that important?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's important, but
this is why this is. I mean, it's just you got to think from a media standpoint too, man. When I have to do my news every single morning twice, and I have to have at least 10 minutes worth of news. And right now with my commercials, that means I have to plan, and I did this morning. I do this every morning. I have to have about 7 to 8 minutes worth of news. Sometimes I have to have less, sometimes I have to have more, depending on what day I am and what advertisement is going on that day.
Do you pick it out?
What, the news?
Yeah.
I have a lot that's sent to me, but I have 4 or 5 local news websites from local places that I grab and we grab news from. And then I have to take the news. And if it's written by one of the local sites, I have to change it up. So I can't read it verbatim on the air like you're reading these stories.
Yeah, right.
I can't read that verbatim because they'll sue our ass. So I have to change up while I'm reading certain words and certain phrases and stuff. And I've learned to do that over the years on the fly. Well, some
Right.
people can't do it. I've been doing this for 30 years, so I can do that on the fly.
Well, you're
most of the
presenting
time.
it as news, though, as a
Yeah,
media organization.
I'm
Whereas here on the show, we are
you're
responding
reading.
to a
Yeah,
story and
right,
having opinions.
right. So the news has to, what I was getting at is I have to fill up a certain amount of time every day. And some days I don't have news to talk about, man. I
Yeah.
just don't. And my news is supposed to be local and area news. And I try not to go out of our local area, within like a 50-mile. But sometimes I do have to reach out and grab some stories from Eastern Kentucky or St. Louis or Nashville that's a little further out of our area. But because I'm struggling that morning for news. And you've got to realize that big media does this times 1,000 of what I do it.
Right.
So
Well,
shit
they have a
like
lot more
this.
to draw from, though, because
Mhm.
like big media can call from every market and take the biggest story out of every.
Right, and that's what I mean, something like this, like the Queen dying, that's huge news. Who else died? There was somebody else that died, and then I thought, "Oh, he's gonna get completely overshadowed by the Queen dying," and I can't remember who. See, I can't even remember who it freaking was. Um,
News. Let's see who
uh,
died.
well, I was looking here, when did the Queen die? What day was
It
it?
was like Thursday. I feel like it was Thursday.
Thursday, 8 or 9. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it was Thursday. Sonny West passed away. He was a singer-songwriter.
Well, it was overshadowed. Whatever it was
Yeah,
overshadowed.
whatever it was overshadowed. And I just remember I seen his face, and it was like he had passed away. I think it was a black actor, or I don't remember. And I thought, oh, I know him. And I thought that's the first thing that popped into my head was, oh, his death is going to be completely overlooked because the Queen died. And that's the only thing that the media cares about right now is Queen, Queen,
Right.
Queen, 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 because
It's
that's
like,
what makes money.
you know why? It's because
Eric
they're able to
Jones,
able to run easy stories and print money
comic
because
book
people are going to
artist,
read them.
Eric Jones,
Eric Jones.
Image Comics.
Eric Jones? I don't know an Eric Jones.
Says he just died. Okay, that we're getting way off topic.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but we're
I was
on
just
the
trying to
top.
make a point about you were talking about media and it covered the media, and I was like, well, media. You have to understand that media sucks up anything that's going to make them
Yeah.
some money right then.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. So the Queen's death is instant moneymaker. They've been frothing at the mouth for this shit for like 10, 15 years.
You know, they had like probably
they're like,
obituaries written for the last
when the
25
Queen
years.
dies, we got this is going into effect.
Yeah, we got at least a good 2 solid weeks of news cycle that we don't have to work very hard to just turn that money pipe on.
Yeah.
Media is so disappointing. So
Mhm.
disappointing.
Mhm.
And with that in mind, sir, let's read a couple news stories about the Queen.
Okay. Damn it.
Hey, if you can't beat him, join him.
Did you see the video of King Charles III sitting at his royal table, fixing to sign the royal book with the royal quill?
I did
and
see
and
it.
he had to get one of his servants to move this petty things from my desk, please.
This is not appropriate for me to do myself.
Very inappropriate.
Take that trash to the trash bin.
We need to practice our
not very good.
royal. I'm not either. Hey, y'all, move this. Y'all get this pen thing, move it.
Yeah, that's King Charles. King Jason would have been like, "What's this? Get the fuck out of here! Get off my desk!"
Hitting people in the head.
All right, Charles' succession stirs Caribbean calls for reparations and removal of monarch as head of state. I don't know why this is news. This should have happened like, I don't know, 100 years ago. just like it should have happened in Australia and Canada and everywhere else. The idea that you have a pretend monarch, because it's pretend, it is a make-believe monarch, and then you have their actual government that's elected representatives.
Right.
The ascension of King Charles to the British throne has stirred renewed calls from politicians and activists for former colonies in the Caribbean to remove the monarch as their head of state. The Prime Minister of Jamaica said his country would mourn Elizabeth, and his counterpart in Antigua and Barbuda ordered flags to half staff until the day of her burial. I mean, like, you have to do this because, like, otherwise you're being a rude son of a bitch.
Right.
And I mean, these are little islands out in the Atlantic Ocean. You can't, I mean, like, you're not going to marshal your own army. You guys are a little tiny country.
Right. But they're tired of being told what to do by somebody else. They want to be. I mean, it's like if Texas was ruled by some Yankee that lived up in Rhode Island, and some Rhode Island guy was telling y'all what to do. We used to have a radio station. I used to work for a different company down here, and their main office was over in North Carolina. And that's what they always used to bitch about all the time, was the guy that was making the decisions on music was in North Carolina. Yeah. He wasn't listening to the people in Western Kentucky we're a little different than the people in North Carolina, which is obvious.
I think people always dismiss those little differences. Like, that's the stuff that matters, really.
Yeah, it does matter. And so I can completely understand these people in their islands. They're like, we've been doing this shit for years. Let's get it over with. Yeah.
So similarly to the Caribbean story, I'm just going to bloop this over here like this. Similarly to the Caribbean story, Australia needs to become a republic. Bant calls for a change in the wake of Queen's death. Like, why didn't they have the balls to do this like a month ago or 2 months ago or 5 years ago?
Okay, say that one more time.
Australia needs to become a republic. So why didn't the politicians in Australia, why didn't they have the balls to say this kind of stuff like in the last 5 years, 20 years?
They probably, okay. I'm not covering for them. I'm just giving you reason. Okay. It very well could have been because they've probably felt this way and it's been on their minds, but the Queen's death provided a door that was not opened for this conversation.
Right.
This door was not going to be open until she died. And they couldn't open the.
I mean,
you know what I mean.
Okay, but like, let's think about this. Think about this way. Okay, the Queen's dead. Charles is king. Right. So, were they being polite before? We will continue to politely be your I don't know, whatever. You be our sovereign. And now she's dead, and they're like, oh, Charles is a pussy. Let's
no, I don't think that's what it is.
Revolt.
I think it's a changing of the guard. I think it's like politeness when a band is performing. Well, you might not go to band competitions. You ever have to walk into an auditorium and they won't let you walk in until like the performance is done?
Right.
It's kind of like this. I mean, the Queen died. We're at an intermission right now, and they're like, oh, by the way, can we talk about this real quick? You know, I can see the time looks like it's appropriate, and it's 2022. I mean, people are identifying as giraffes, so I mean, people are gonna freaking do whatever they want to these days. Hey, down with the Queen, screw her. We're ready to be by ourselves. I don't blame them. I'm
all for
Americans. That's the whole point. Of this
I'm not defending any monarchy. I'm all for like boo your own country, but like. I mean, the fact that you're calling for it right now is it's obviously an opportunistic response to a woman dying. A woman died, and it is this dude, whoever this dude is, vying for political clout.
I think you're correct in saying that. I mean, that as a straightforward definition, an opportunistic, how you put it there was very correct, but I don't think it was done in a nefarious way. I think it was done, unfortunately, because the Queen has died and there is a door closing and a door opening. There's sort of a transitional period.
So if they get
probably better to do it now than to try to do it, 10 years ago, or let's say Charles lives another, his
Yeah.
mom lived to 90 something, his grandmother, or let's say he lives another 20 years. It would be more appropriate. When would you think, 10 years from now, or when Charles passes away and William takes over?
I mean,
It's kind of like the change in, let's do it now. If not, we're going to have to wait until Charles dies.
I think King Charles ought to like grab the reins and be like, you know what? You guys are not our countries anymore. he should take all of the steam out of their engine and be like, Australia, you're no longer ours, and handle your business, and like you got nothing to do with us. He should, rather than wait to be fired, he should quit.
I think Australia. I mean, I agree with you there.
All right, so here's one more. Now this is that was not what I meant to do. I don't know what that was. Check this out. After Queen Elizabeth II's death, many Indians are demanding the return of their Kohinoor diamond. So these guys got the right mindset. They're like, hey, give us our money back. This giant diamond, which looks fake. Whatever that is, it looks fake.
I've never really been a diamond person. I've always, even before they freaking, this is kind of, they say this shit now, like mainstream, but was always like, why are we paying so much for this diamond when the company that sells us the diamond are saying they're rare, but I can go buy a fucking diamond at Walmart. So how rare are these fucking stones? And how much, JJ, are you supposed to pay for an engagement ring?
Man,
this is a test. How much have you been told? How much were we told to pay for an engagement
ring? I feel
ring?
like I was told it was like 3 months.
Okay, something. There you go. You're exactly right. 3 months. Do you know who told you that? The De Beers Diamond Company commercials.
Yeah. They're not precious.
That.
These are not precious stones.
They're not. All over the Diamonds place. Are not precious stones. I don't know why we as a world think that they
I think
are.
India is right to demand the return of their diamond. And I also think King Charles ought to be like, F you, and toss it in the lake. Go get it.
Why do humans love stones and precious stones? Have you ever thought about that on a philosophical level? Why do we as human society
fundamentally
like that?
Fundamentally, things come down to especially all of this, especially all this pomp and ceremony and circumstance. It comes down to presenting yourself as superior and tricking everybody else into thinking you're superior to achieve power and prestige. That is what it's about. So you have King Charles III, and you see him with his jacket, and he's got ribbons and medals and all of this nonsense. That dude, maybe he was in the military, but he wasn't no like super war hero. Okay. So it's about it's peacocking. It's about presenting yourself as superior and psychologically fooling the rest of the world, other government leaders, other political opponents, rivals in all kinds of contexts. You don't have to convince them either. You only have to make them think, well, maybe there is maybe there's a reason why they're royal family. Yeah.
One doubt.
Like,
you don't have
like,
to
no, you're not, you know better than us.
Doubt.
But then for just a second, you get them to think like, well, maybe, well, let me think about it. Is there a reason why they're better than us? Is there a reason why they're smarter than us, or their royalty? Is there just the moment of doubt? That's power. This is all about power and money and wealth and maybe the royals believe some of this stuff too. I don't know.
So if this happens, do they give back the other stones and the other pieces that they have?
No way. England should be like, nope, ours. Mine.
You can get into a whole huge argument there about a whole conversation about all of the stuff, family stuff that was taken from the Jewish people during World War II that had got distributed throughout all of Europe. And some of these pieces are straight up Jewish family pieces that are in other people's homes now, strictly because they were just robbed from those people. And I don't know. That's the way of the world, man. That's history. People stealing from other people.
To a certain degree, if you want to move forward in peace, you have to be willing to let the past go. But if you want power and you want control, you use the past and grievances and history and debt as a club, and you beat your enemy down. That's what you do. So anyone that's trying to get to acquire power, they're going to use all of those grievances, all of those misdeeds, all of the wrongs of history, and they're just going to hit you on the head with it until you say, "I'm sorry, we were wrong. I'm sorry." When in fact, I mean, England spread peace and culture to the they dominated, and they spread ideas like the Magna Carta, common law, equal justice, except unless you're the king or whatever, but like more or less treating the people equally. They spread a lot of positive benefits, and there was dominion and empire. Those things were bad, so those things were good. But people that are in all of these other countries, we see Australia, it's happening in the Caribbean. People that are looking to acquire political power and ascend, they're going to grab those grievances and just beat England on the head with it, because nobody's going to say they're wrong. So it's all about power and trying to accumulate power. Good morning, Jeremy, and Colin has a beard, and a couple of other folks. We are so happy that you're here this morning. And by the way, if if you're on YouTube, there is a like button down there, and you make sure to hit that. And good morning to our person who is watching on Twitch, twitch.tv/JJW8071. Oh my gosh, I talk so much that Deacon fell out. Deacon fell out. All right. So that's the England stuff. And, like personally, as a human to a family of other humans, I feel sorry for Charles and William and Harry and all of those people that lost their family member. They have my sympathy in that regard. But the fact that we're talking about a monarchy, a pretend monarchy in the 21st century, is absolutely ludicrous. So I don't know if Deacon didn't hear me any of that.
Yeah, I can hear. I heard.
Okay. All right.
I could hear it.
So let's shift gears and talk for a moment about American politics. And I picked this story up a minute ago, and Deacon doesn't know about it, but I'm just gonna drop this one in here. Check this out. GOP senator. This is from The Hill.
Oh, I saw something on this weekend, but I didn't.
GOP senators led by Lindsey Lady Graham slammed the Trump January 6th Trump J6 pardon promise. So here's the context as I understand it. Not only has Trump said that if he runs again, we don't know if he will, wink, wink, but if he runs again, he said that he would fire like 50,000 government employees. And even if you're like, no, Trump, after this, 87,000 IRS agents get hired, that sounds pretty good. We don't need an extra. Cut the fat. Don't add to the fat. But apparently he's also said, and I honestly think this is the best thing to do. Trump has said that he would grant pardons to rioters who stormed to the Capitol. So obviously the left ain't.
Is that the deciding factor for people?
I don't know. But I know this. January 6th, there was a protest, and then a portion of the protest lost their S a little bit, and they stormed, and there was a little bit of a riot, and it wasn't even violent until some like other violence kicked off, and the only person that was killed was a Trump supporter, Ashley Babbitt. Right, she was the only one that was murdered. There was a couple cops that died, but unrelated to the entire thing. So January 6th, which was a protest with a riot, a portion of it that rioted, was painted by the media as an insurrection and used by Democrats and the left and Nancy Pelosi to propel this story of insurrection and violent rioters and whatever, when it's not true. But it's being used as a divide, as a something to attack people with. Trump promising, look, they shouldn't have done that. There was a protest. It got out of control. They shouldn't have done that. That was wrong, reprehensible. And I'm going to pardon all of this. We're going to set aside all of these cases and just send these people home. They've been in jail for like 2 years now and not not able to have adequate defense. And even if you go to trial, you're in DC. Everybody in DC, literally everyone that is in your jury for your indictment is a Democrat,
I
and
have a
everybody in your trial is a Democrat, and they're all going to vote against you politically. It's not
I
so.
have a question.
Yeah.
And I'm being serious about this. I'm not trying to be facetious or
Mhm.
smart aleck or sarcastic or anything. I'm being serious.
Yes.
Is the reason these people are being prosecuted for this, is it because it was the White House, not the Capitol building?
No. The
Okay,
reason they're being prosecuted is
yeah.
because if they can affirm people rioted
No, no,
or
no, no, no.
people.
What
No, go
is
ahead.
what is their reason? What is their reason that these
Which they?
people are being prosecuted?
Which
The
they?
government's reason that the
Yes.
people that are prosecuting these people that rioted on January the 6th,
Yeah.
what are these people being charged with?
Oh, in most cases, like trespassing.
Trespassing specifically on the Capitol building?
Yeah,
And
which is a
that's
public
why it's
building,
so
has
heinous?
public access.
Is it just because okay, this is what I'm seriously I don't understand is that these people, and I'm not trying to take a side here. I'm just trying to
Right.
understand these people that did this are being prosecuted and having the book thrown at them. And what happened? Were the people that rioted in all these other cities for whatever reason in the past 2 or 3 years? It didn't. I don't care what the reason was, but it was the fact that it was a riot and these cities that were burned down and these people that were killed and these businesses that were burned down and stuff. Did those people, I'm being serious. Did
I'm
those people, were they put on trial for trespassing and stuff like that?
No. There's definitely an unequal justice happening here. The
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to pick a side.
so
I'm trying to point out and ask a
right.
legitimate question here.
So in DC versus all the rest of the country, there's two different things happening.
Okay.
In DC, there's probably like, I don't know, 200, maybe 800. I don't know how many people there were. It was a small portion of a very massive protest. Couple hundred people went into the Capitol that shouldn't have. And there were definitely people breaking glass and doing some wild stuff, because anytime you get too many people in a small space, the judgment is just gone. And there were also probably some instigators inserted into the crowd that were there to gin up more violence than there was needed to be. All of that said, of the people that really did like some egregious stuff, that is breaking windows or entering into the Capitol when they shouldn't have been, or you remember Buffalo Head dude, and you had the guy that was walking around with Nancy Pelosi's podium or whatever, like, from the January, which honestly, some of those photographs were more amusing than they were dangerous. They're mostly being charged with trespassing. In some cases, the charges were even dropped by a federal judge because in some of the cases where these people were trespassing, the police opened the doors and allowed them in. So you can't be trespassing if you're being told you can go in. But the ones that don't have that defense, that were trespassing, they're being charged with trespassing, which is a misdemeanor. But they're having it leveled at them, and the reason is this: if the White House, if the DC, courts can get protesters to plead guilty, and then to plead down by saying they were incited to do this by Donald Trump. All of those prosecutions are about tying people that did stuff they shouldn't have to Trump and saying Trump told them to do that. And the reason that they are doing that is because the Democrats and the establishment and the permanent government body of bureaucrats are so worried about Trump becoming elected again that they're trying to stick anything to him they can. And then they're going to try to leverage this law, this statute that says a person convicted of treason or something like that can never run for office again. It's some law. They're trying to stick that on the president, when in fact the Constitution says that you the requirements are being 35 and Lando citizen, things like that. The Constitution gets to decide who gets to run for president, and it's actually unconstitutional for a statute to be laid against the Constitution to enhance the requirements of running for office. But this is all a play to get to prevent him from being able to run.
Right, but this is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
If I was like in charge, or I was like a very important person, and you come up to me and you were like, you just explain that to me. Like, we need to do this, and we need to do this, and we need to do this to make sure that Donald Trump never runs again, is never able to run again. I would say, get the fuck out of here, because I'm not wasting my damn money on an 80-year-old. By the time we get this done, that son of a bitch is going to be 80-something years old. I'm worried about these young bucks that are like 30 and 40 years old. Who is going to give us a problem 10, 15, 20 years from now? Who is the up? I'm not, dude. I think it's funny that everybody is still so focused on Donald Trump. Every time I see Donald Trump, I see freaking Zaphoid Beeblebox, man, from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, you think he's the distraction?
He is a major distraction. He is the perfect example of a distraction. Look up the word distraction.
I get your point in that regard.
And it's freaking Donald Trump, because the man can say one word and either incite half America or piss off half America. And all he's got to do is say one word. He's the definition of a marionette, man. He's the definition of
I think that's, I mean, I'm not, I'm going to say, I understand your point. I think it's a little exaggerated. I'm going to give you this. Donald Trump is better at communicating than all of his opponents. He is better at leveraging whatever little limited amount of media attention he has to get to amuse people, to entertain people, to draw them in, to lock them in, to compel them to support his causes or to oppose him if they're against him. But he's a magnet.
The great orators in history have go back through the history books for 2,000 years, and all these major names that you see, either good or bad, that have done good or bad things, were all charismatic speakers. Yeah. Every single one of them, all the way back to Constantine, and Alexander the Great. They were all very charismatic people.
We're humans. We are humans, and we're tribe animals. We're tribal humans. And tribe animals follow the strong, and they follow the winners. Yeah. So, like, when it comes down to it, like him or hate him, Donald Trump's a winner. He creates winning out of nothing, or he'll borrow or beg or loan or whatever. I don't know, but he's got a certain talent stack, and that talent stack includes the tools you need to get people to follow you, and getting people to follow you is how you win. It's how you acquire political capital. It's how you, I mean, just the fact that he can say stuff that's like, that makes you chuckle. And you got like all of these politicians up in there pretending that they're talking about Iran or nuclear weapons or foreign this or healthcare that or whatever. And most of the time, politicians, they're talking in the news media, and they'll say stuff and you'll be like, bzz, 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 don't care what you say. Or they'll say something that gets you mad, like abortion, 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 or whatever, whatever, whatever. And Donald Trump gets up there and says like, that fat cow or whatever. And you're like, that's funny. Or, he has the talent stack to bring you in, and then he has the additional talent stack of knowing that once he's got your attention, he can direct you in one way. Just attack this one thing. And that is able to focus people and move them in a certain direction. And everybody in Washington is afraid of that because they don't have that skill set. They can't compete on a level field. So they don't want a level field. They want to indict these not innocent people, but they want to overcharge these people. And then they want to tie it to Trump. And they want to say, oh, Trump, you can't run because you incited a riot. You incited an insurrection. The law is if you incite an insurrection or a rebellion, you're not able to run or to hold public office. That's the law, the statute that's passed. So that's what they're trying to do.
I don't want to, I just think that's a waste of time. I mean, and if they are doing that, which I'm not saying that you're not
is it
wrong.
a waste of time if they can't win on a fair fight?
No, I don't think that's why it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of time because Donald Trump is to me, he's not worth wasting any more of our time on. He has done what he's done, and he's going to have the ripples of his effect are massive ripples. They're not some little ripples. They're massive, and we're still going to feel the ripple effect of Donald Trump for a while, more than other politicians. But I think he's already made his splash, and we need to focus on, or who that side needs to focus on, who is going to be the next rock in the water, so to speak, who is going to make the next splash. Because I don't want to worry about trying to go underwater and get this rock to throw it back in again. This rock has already made his ripples, and the ripples are causing all kinds of repercussions still. So let's figure out what's going to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we need to be like, okay, Trump, cool.
So you do need to think about this in a multidimensional manner, though. So
Right.
it's not just Trump president or not president, right?
Right.
What Trump did is, look, by no means am I making an apology of Trump here. I'm trying to state facts as I see them. Although, there's certain qualities about Trump that I like. I especially like the fact that he's like he's supposed to be a wrecking ball to destroy establishment, because the establishment doesn't work for you.
He is exactly Beeblebox.
Okay, all right.
Beeblebox.
So here's the lasting thing that, or maybe not lasting, but the larger thing that Trump is. Trump is now a kingmaker. And I mean that in that Trump-backed candidates right now in this election cycle are winning like 92%, 98%. So candidates or political people that want to hold political office, if they, instead of whatever they think whatever political values are in the past, or if they naturally align with a populist America first type of agenda. So in local politics, that would be like, look, rest of the country is great, Texas first. I'm 100% Texas first, and you should be Kentucky first.
JJ, that's what I'm talking about, is that Trump is, thank you, all right, yes, but right now we need to be like, you exactly need to be looking in Texas and being like, all right, who do I want? Who do I want? Who fits the agenda? And I need to be looking in my town. All right, who on my level fits the agenda? It's not the, let's just settle for the worst of the worst, the best of the worst. Don't do that shit. That's what I always hated when somebody would say, well, I went with what's the saying? The better of two evils. Fuck that. Why are you going with an evil? The better of two evils?
Because there's no good.
Evil,
there's no good. Here's the thing, that this is one of the many components of why the Trump national America First populism stuff works and as opposed to not. And it's this: people I'm going to say the word lazy, but it's not lazy. You have things in your life, dude. You have your kids, you have your wife, you got maybe this TV show you want to watch, got games later in the day. You got, how am I going to make mortgage this week? Am I going to have enough gas money, get groceries, or whatever? You have things to think about in your life. And how much of your percentage of your day can you afford to say, well, let me consider all of my political alternatives for local politics to see whose policies exactly align with me and don't. Nobody has got time for that, dude. And not on your local politics level, not on your state politics level, not on your American politics level, unless it's a form of entertainment to you. So if politics and news is a form of entertainment to you, then you might have energy for that. But most people, They don't have time for that. They never have had time for it. And on the left, you'll be like, oh, people should be more involved in civics and more involved in like, politics. And everybody should be political. That's because that's their religion, dude. And my religion is like Jesus and salvation of my soul and my family and the people I can help. And to a degree, my politics is entertainment. But
Right, religion as in what they as a family do, because you could use that I know what you mean, because around here some families religion is baseball.
Right.
They live and thrive and live, and that's all they do is baseball and think and do, and that's all they do is baseball from summer, fall, winter, all baseball.
So yeah, in the context that the majority of Americans don't have time for politics and don't care about politics, in the context of that, when they do want to be involved, do you know what Trump and MAGA is? It's a yellow highlighter that says, hey, this dude's America first. I like the idea of America first. I think America first is good. So Donald Trump is not just electing Donald Trump president. He's lifting up all of these candidates that he says, Donald Trump says, this guy in your district, he's a good guy. And people are like, you know what? I don't have a lot of energy for this, but I'll listen to that and I'll make sure to vote for that guy. So the power of Trump is that he is a kingmaker. Do you think if Biden came around, if Biden was going around the country saying, oh, this is a good Democrat. Listen, Jack,
whoever
Shaman of pressure, vote for Joe Schmo. Nobody cares.
Whoever Biden approved, I would be like, okay, red flag pedophile. Where's Chris Wallace?
Pedo Hitler.
Yeah,
all right.
Where's Chris Wallace at? Do you have a file on this guy?
So in all of that context, this story has been sitting over here this whole time. So one of the things that Trump has said is like, look, I'm just going to pardon these guys. Take this game piece totally off the table. All of these people that have got charged with capital riot or whatever, like, you say it was wrong to riot. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have broke windows. They shouldn't have been hollering and yelling and stuff. And across the board pardons, all of them. Everybody gets pardoned. You take it completely off the table. And then you got some yap on the left about, oh, he pardoned criminals or whatever. I'm like, innocent until proven guilty. You never took them to court. You had 2 years and you're all pardoned. So I think that's a good play. Now, Lindsey Graham, a.k.a. Lady Graham, who's...
Okay, wait. Before you move on,
it's a bad idea. Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Before you move on,
yeah.
If he pardons these people, do you pardon any of the other people from any of the other riots? From any riot that had gotten put in jail for any reason?
You want, first of all, those cities and states, they're not prosecuting these guys anyway. They get arrested and they get released because the DAs in those areas are just drop the charges. Okay. With that being said, you'd have to really think about it, because there might be a really good case for that in some cases. There might be a really good case.
That there's kind of a similar argument going on to all these states are going with recreational marijuana, and there's some people that have spent like 20 years in prison just for marijuana charges. They don't have any other charges. We used to I've seen the band Fish about 13 or 14 times in the 90s and through the early 2000s, and they're very much a hippie, Grateful Dead-y type culture, hippie culture. And there were a lot of people that you would encounter that would have literature that you would stop. I can remember this one lady and talking to her for a long time, and her husband, what they did was they just lived in their van or whatnot, and they lived off the land, and they followed this band around, and they listened to them, and they sold like little trinkets and grilled cheeses and shit like that. And her husband was, and pot, and her husband was arrested for pot, and he was in prison for like 10 years or something because he had like 2 pounds of pot or something, So there's that whole argument in these states. These people have spent all this time. What do you do? Do you make reparations to them? Do you what do you do?
I don't know. I would say that I could definitely be persuaded of the value of pardoning a lot of people that have done a lot of pretty heinous things in the context of, this is what's happening to America. America right now is already divided, and that division is getting pushed farther and farther apart. And that's going to result in the other being defined by whatever group you are as the other is causing all of these problems. And
Right.
ultimately that's going to lead to like more violence, more instability,
Right. It
and
already
more people
has.
dying.
I,
Yeah.
I see it every day. The left screams that the right does this, and the right is screaming that the left is doing the same thing. I see the same argument on
Right.
these left sites and stuff that the right, it's the exact same argument. They're just saying it at each other. You know, where's my camera?
Well, yeah. So I'm looking at crime stats here, and like crime. Okay, so with the appointment of the progressive DAs that are letting Black Lives Matter, Antifa, rioters, uh, these sorts that are causing fires, causing damage, they'll get arrested and they get churned out again. With the appointment of the progressive DAs that are not charging these things, like the net result is that currently aggravated assaults, violent crime is on the rise, especially in cities, because criminals can get arrested and they basically have a get out of jail free card, and so violent crime is on the uptick. It's on like a wild uptick, especially assaults. Murder a little bit is up, but assault and aggravated assault is way up. So now, if you could leverage the power of pardons, okay, as president to actual, instead of having a pedo Hitler speech about saying like MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy, that's absolutely divisive. If instead of that you said, look, people on the right did stuff they shouldn't have done, and people on the left have done stuff they shouldn't have done, I, as president, am going to say, look, we need a reset. And the way we're going to reset is we're going to pardon all of these people, and we need to lower the temperature, and we need to talk to our opponents, or we need to talk to our political rivals, because like this country is split 50-50. And if we can't say, hey, you guys have values in your places and we have values in our places, and we're going to let you live in peace if you'll live with us in peace. If we can't have that conversation, then the only other conversation we can have is who gets resources and how do they get them. And when it's, you won't give me the water I need, or you won't give me the food I need, or you won't give me the products that I need, or you're going to prevent trade, or you're going to take my guns away, or whatever it is, when you're going to exercise force against citizens to constrain them, or you're going to use the powers of government to repress your political opponents or regional opponents, say, then that only goes one way, and that way is death. That way is actual violence and killing. That is cities getting isolated and prevented from having resources dedicated to them. That is violent people in cities encroaching into suburbs and more violence there. It's not good. So there's a very good argument for using the pardon powers to clear not only people on the right but on the left, in order for the goal of reducing the violent potential, because the violent potential energy is building and building and building and building. And right now, cities are not a place you want to be.
No, I agree. I agree.
I'm on
You
a
can
rant.
No, that's a good rant. I was enjoying that.
I mean,
No,
like,
that's really it. I mean, you can tell how much you love that.
well, I mean, like, honestly, like, I honestly don't care about government. Like, I mean, I not only don't care, like, I want as little government as possible, and I want as much peace as possible. I want as many people to live their lives peacefully by themselves as possible. And I don't want to tell you how to live, and I really don't want you to tell me how to live. So, but this way that this is going, MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy. Joe Biden's trying to get MAGA Republicans killed in the street. Joe Biden is trying to get MAGA Republicans, kill Trump Republicans, or basically 74 million Republicans. He's trying to get them killed so they can hold on to power. So anyway, in that context, let me go back to this story that was on. He's on that air so I can read it. Lindsey Graham, Lady Graham, told The Hill that granting pardons to January 6 protesters is a bad idea. Pardons are given to people who admit misconduct, rehabilitate themselves. They're not supposed to be. This dude right here is the same dude that wants us involved in wars. He wants leveraging American power over Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, whatever. This dude right here is not a good guy. He may
I have
sound good,
to,
but he is not a good guy.
every time I hear Lindsey Graham's name and they don't say Senator Lindsey Graham, I have to, like, this is how my brain works in a span of like half a second. My brain goes, Lindsey Graham, an association, 60s musical artist. And then my brain goes,
is there some
no,
other Lindsey Graham?
politician, not Lindsey Graham, not 60s musical. There's not a musical artist named Lindsey Graham in the 60s. It's just, it sounds like
a
60s musical artist. Lindsey Graham was a 60s musical artist that played the oboe. No, that's how my brain works every time.
I don't really like this dude, but he's not the worst dude in the Senate, McConnell. But he's
who's McConnell? What state?
No, Chuck Schumer's the worst guy in the Senate. But
yeah,
I meant the worst Republican. He's not the worst Republican in the Senate, but he's not a good guy. This guy, whatever he's advocating for, it's gonna lead to more war because. I don't know what his deal is, but he has got to be linked up with like military complex and government contracts and whatever, because like this stuff right here, he says pardons are given to people who admit misconduct and rehabilitate themselves. They're not supposed to be used for other purposes. Bullshit. The presidential powers to pardon, that should be used to de-escalate civil violent conflict.
Oh yeah.
That is more important than one guy did one bad thing.
Our outgoing governor this last time, 2 or 3 years ago, when he left, like days before he left office, he pardoned a bunch of freaking people.
They all do that if they're going to do it, and they're people that are like, cousin of a campaign contributor.
Exactly what it was, but one particular guy that he pardoned was like a pedophile and was like an admitted pedophile, and it got huge repercussions from him. Yeah, it was a big time.
I'm definitely on team no pardons for pedos. that is a higher justice than even civil conflict. You pardon everybody except pedos. Pedos stay in jail or stay under a jail. Anyway, okay, so wow, that was a lot of civics talk this morning, and we got some bunch of comments, mostly from my brother. Let's see.
I know. I was looking at them go through, but I wasn't reading them all like a bad host. I'm sorry, guys. I'm an ass.
The powers that be don't want the U.S. You don't want us united. Division is the point. It's about breaking us at some point. Absolutely, it is. It is. The establishment, the powers that be, is the bureaucratic state. It is people who got appointed to a job by so-and-so, and they think they know their job better than you do, and they think they know what's better than in their little sphere of, they think they know, like, well, look, I don't know about everything, but I know about economic policy, and my opinion on economic policy is better than the politicians. So but you have literally millions of these bureaucrats, and they, and according to the news a couple of weeks ago, we're going to have 87,000 more IRS agents that are going to go after the rich. They're not going after the rich. They're going after you. They're going to take your money, dude.
Yeah. They're not going after the rich. They're going after you, dude.
Yeah. That is the barrel of the gun. That is.
Do you think the reason there's 87,000 new IRS members is because all these damn people that are selling on Facebook Marketplace? Do you sell it? Do you or your wife buy anything on a swap shop? We used to have a radio show called Swap Shop, and that's what it was. I got an old freezer out back. It still works if anybody wants it. $30. Well, by God, the government ain't getting their cut off that $30, JJ.
Mm-mm.
And they're not on these Facebook Marketplace things. I'm just using that as an example, but that's a lot of money that the government is not getting.
Oh, yeah. No, they are. Now, that I really think of government as like, people think of government as like all kinds of different things. They think of it as like, oh, it's our ability to do things together and like build in whatever, law, justice, all that. No, government is the sword, and it is do what the sword says, or the sword is going to cut your head off. And that's what the government. Government is the monopoly of the use of force, and that force is used mostly against you. Mostly against you. So I've been thinking about this lately. I think I should like find time. Of course, when do I have time to do stuff like this? But I feel like I should find time to like write down my thoughts about a government because that is the use of force. It is the use of force. And right now that force is being leveraged by who? Who has the power of government right now? And what are they doing with that power? They are prosecuting January 6th riot. They're running a January 6th committee for like a year, 2 years. They are keeping that story in the news. They're saying don't stand up and protest. Don't come to the U.S. Mall. Don't you dare head to the tower, head to the Capitol and say that you want America first. Because if you do, your years of your life will be spent in a holding cell. I mean, that is the use of force. And you got anything to say about it? Oh, look, we got some IRS agents and they found that you owe some extra taxes. Oh, we found some more taxes that you owe. Okay. My God, this morning. All right. I want to show you one thing. I saw this. Maybe you are off politics. We're the politics stop. We left that one already. We're off of that.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm good. I like the rant this morning. That's a rare JJ rant. I haven't ranted all morning. That's kind of weird.
I just like everywhere, government everywhere. I don't care about the Queen and I don't care about America. I mean, like they're all bad. Okay. That's behind us. I saw this. I saw a trailer for maybe this is on other people's radar. It's not on mine. I saw the trailer for this weekend. I thought I would run it by you and see what you think. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to start this trailer. And if you watch this video later and you don't see this trailer, it's because I got flagged and I had to cut it out. So
yeah, we got to stop it and whatnot.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Shit.
From the creators of Westworld.
Okay.
This is Miss Chloe something from Kick-Ass.
Kendra and I saw this last night.
Your skill,
but not the trailer, not the whole trailer.
Come here.
Oh,
of course, I'm talking to Uncle Deacon. Hey, we're watching this thing. Are you gonna let us watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And personality.
So that's the girl from Mark Miller's KA book. Yeah, I can't say her name. Chloe Moritz or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She's been in a lot of stuff as a little girl. She's grown up. That didn't look like her.
The future.
I thought that was what's her name from Marvel.
I promise not to tell anyone.
So, you put on a thing on your head.
I thought that was the Olsen girl. I thought that was Elizabeth Olsen. That's not her. That's that little Chloe little girl.
Yeah.
What the crap, dude?
Yeah.
Grown up.
So no, you don't touch that. Okay, so and let me just say this. Anytime I've ever seen like VR on TV, like, you know, sometimes they put the goggles on your head or they put the stuff on. I just always think it looks so dopey.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that little girl.
She was in that.
Yeah. Kick-Ass and yeah.
So you put on some headset and you go into
Have you ever watched that?
Alternate world. Westworld?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons are like really good. And then the other seasons.
Every single person that knows me that's watched that's like, dude, you would like that. And I've never watched it. Like every single person.
Ed Harris.
That.
Ed Harris. Cowboy get up, black hat, revolver.
He's awesome.
He's awesome in every
scene.
Sounds
awesome.
He's in.
Yeah. Okay. You can keep
All right.
going.
Yeah. All right. So she's in like The Matrix or something, right?
Right.
I mean, like the lighting and framing of these shots is straight up like we love The Matrix, but we
see that shot right there. She looks like what's her name from when I just saw the thing. I thought, oh, this is a freaking House of Dragon shit that JJ wants.
Oh, you thought it was I don't remember her name. When I first saw it, I was like, is that Florence Pugh from Black Widow? But then I was like, oh
no.
So all of these actresses are like interchangeable.
Dragon Queen lady, I know.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Holy shit.
Oh, okay. So, based on
cool with the freaking statues, that's pretty freaking awesome.
William Gibson, I looked into his books, and I haven't read any of his books, but I feel like there's been several adaptations that have been made on William Gibson stuff. Is that author familiar to you?
but I'm going to Wikipedia him.
He's basically like the originator of like cyberpunk, which then
Ooh,
led
really?
to
Okay.
Shadowrun, and then
Yeah.
later on in the 90s he was kind of the starting point of steampunk, which is not as cool as cyberpunk.
I love steampunk. Actually, I
Oh yeah,
always have been in love with that. I actually have a friend who I graduated with, or I went to school with my whole life. She graduated a year after me, but she is a pretty successful teen author, I guess you could say.
yeah.
In that subculture, she is rather successful,
Sorry
and
about
she
my phone.
writes steampunk. Or
Yeah.
she started writing steampunk years ago, and then she said that her editor was like telling her that that's a dying whatever, and I was telling her no, it's not dying.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not bagging on steampunk. I will admit that
Cyberpunk,
while
they're both awesome. I
y-
mean, we used to
they're
play
both
Shadowrun
awesome, or they're both totally
RPG.
dorky and silly, right?
Right,
So
right,
I will admit,
right.
like in my perspective, like cyberpunk with like the copper this and the typewriters and the whatever, all of this stuff.
Hackers and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that I'm not interested in that stuff, and
Oh no, that was cool.
I can totally see how somebody could be like Blade Runner, neon
Yeah,
lights,
yeah.
umbrellas, like, oh, that's dorky, and I'm like, that shit looks cool.
I can
bro.
see. I can completely see. Yes, dorky steampunk.
Yeah, either way.
You know,
I mean, it's just
you're
like
in the
whatever you're into.
1800s, but you have robots. What now?
Yeah,
You know, I can completely see that too, dorky. But to
Yeah.
me, I'm a dork. I like dorky stuff.
yeah.
Love that
You're
kind of
inside what
stuff.
we call a peripheral.
So this thing is called the peripheral,
Okay.
and
What do you mean?
I mean, obviously,
You
it's
think
like
this is
a
a game?
Matrix type thing, I guess.
But it's real.
It's like a.
It just hasn't happened.
He's got. It looks
has
like
to
he's got like cybernetic implants or something like that, so that he can jack into the system.
So it looks
better.
like they're jumping between the string theory and
Oh,
like a.
I don't
Okay,
know.
keep going.
Maybe you guys know in the comments if you let us know. I don't know anything about this peripheral thing.
String theory, subconscious.
Oh, stab at Android. Invisible cars. Yeah. All right.
Well,
So
it's a series.
yeah, it's a series. So peripheral. So I don't know. Maybe
On
that'll be
what?
good. It's on Amazon.
Oh, on Prime. Oh, okay. So I get to watch that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Some of
I'm not
those
on Prime right
series-
now. So
Some of those series on Prime were pretty good, and then they're just like kind of end weird. I watched this one with Josh Brolin. That was
Oh.
a Prime series.
oh, Outer Range.
yeah.
Let me
that
tell
was a
you, dude,
crazy.
I watched the
one,
first
dude.
episode and I was like, what's going on here? But this is cool. Montana, cowboys and stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
a
that's what I
hole
thought.
that goes into what? What just happened?
Yeah.
And then and then he comes back. He's like, oh, he's not dead. He's he came back. Okay. And then later in the series, you're like, what's up with these buffalo, dude?
Yeah, it's the
It's a-
craziest
like,
freaking show.
yeah,
And then
that
at
is
the
a-
end of
that-
it, I was just kind of
it's
like,
a slow burn though. It's a
and
real
it's the
slow
end.
burn.
You get an end. There's no
And
like
c-
second season.
so they-
That's it. It's a
You
show.
do like one episode and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then at the end, it's like cliffhanger, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And then the second episode, like, that's mind blowing. I have to see what
Yeah, you're
happens
like,
next.
what the
And then there's
okay.
6 more episodes of like, what's up? We're gonna do something
An
cool with
old
the hole
dude.
and the buffaloes or what?
An old dude that played opposite of Brolin.
Oh man, that guy was in what was that
he's been
movie
in
with
bad
Bruce Willis and the asteroid?
Yeah, he was in Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been in everything. He's always
good.
the side man, but
He's
he
he is
always does a freaking better
Yes.
job than the main
Yes.
character.
he is the
We can't remember his damn name. We gotta
Yeah,
look up
can't remember his name.
now.
But I love him. He's great. I can't remember people's names though. I'm not good at that. All right, so that's a good note to end on. I don't know anything about the peripheral. Let me. So the
Uh,
William Gibson stuff though. William
damn,
Gibson.
he's not even Will Patton.
Oh my God. Will
Hang on, I
Patton.
got to bring this up just because we're talking about him on camera. We're talking about him on here. We've got to show people who we're talking about. Will Patton. this guy,
Yes.
Will Patton. He is
Yes.
a freaking great
He's always
actor.
good.
There he is in that
He's
Outer
always
Range.
good.
Yeah, he's awesome in everything that he's in. Will Patton. Isn't that sad that we can remember Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck, Billy Bob
Yeah.
Thornton, but we can't remember this freaking guy who's like,
Well, that's
he had a
that's
great
the
part
power.
with his son that made you cry. God Almighty.
That's the power of being the leading man. You get marketing dominance,
Look at
and
that.
then your name gets to command massive paychecks.
Look at that picture right there.
So
You like that guy?
who is that? Oh, Michael Bay.
Yeah, you like him.
I mean, if he's filming cars, he somehow is able to make cars look amazing and sexy. I don't know how he does it.
Freaking love Keith David.
Oh
He's
yeah.
got the greatest voice.
He's good stuff.
He does a lot of narration. I can't do his
Oh
voice.
my God, it's Peter. Peter, right there to his left. Peter, click on that guy.
Yes.
This guy is the best.
He's a great actor too.
He is amazing. He plays the best
He
devil.
always plays the bad guy. It's so good. Yes.
Yes, and he had. Oh, he was in.
He was the crazy. That's right. He was the crazy guy. That yeah.
He is. I love him. He's good in everything.
Fargo. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right.
So William Gibson is an American-Canadian speculative fiction writer, and he started way back in the '60s. This is the author of the Peripheral.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, in the '70s. His early works were noir, near future stuff about technology, cybernetics, and cyber networks. And then in the he did this story called Neuromancer. I bet that has been adapted. Media appearances, selected works. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I might check out some of his books and stuff, if of course with all of my free time. Who has free time? All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for he was Goliath in Gargoyles. Gargoyles was a great cartoon, Jeremy. It was good stuff. Jeremy also likes Westworld season 1 and 2. I agree. Those are the two good seasons. And then season 3, 4, and whatever, not good. Not even worth your time. But
talk like you. I'm still a little congested.
Way down in the gutter.
Yeah. I still haven't got some mornings, man, my voice is just way down.
Way down here.
Yeah.
And how is that? Because you'd think your
I don't know.
your throat would be like more gummed up with mucus and therefore a smaller diaphragm for voice, for vocal projection, right?
Yeah.
And instead your voice drops. It doesn't make any sense.
Drops. Yeah. I don't no, but some mornings it's even, my register is even lower than this. It's I can get it lower and it's a comfortable tone that I could say something, blah 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 blah.
Man,
it's a good vocal. If I had a good $300 vocal processor, man, I could do movie trailer stuff. I know how the inflection goes with that stuff.
Give us your best in a world.
Oh, I'm not going to with my nose right now. No.
All right, we'll save it for another time. Guys, thank you for watching this show. This has been an hour and 12 minutes on September 12th, 2022. That is Deacon.
We didn't even get through all of our stories.
We didn't even come close, which is good, right? Ideally, we have more than enough, and then we can pick things that are interesting. Sometimes I'm just like all of these, and I just try to go, and I do too many. And, we'll figure this out. And like we dropped some out that were probably important, but just stick them in tomorrow. They're not going anywhere. All right. That's the news. Have a great day. This is the best show we've ever done. And tomorrow is going to be even better. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. You guys know how to use the share button, right? Share button. It's a little share button. And then it put it on your Facebook.
Down there somewhere.
Supposed to do that in advance.
Need help.
Yeah. We got to. This is like growing a plant on Mars right here.
This is like show your friends how stupid dads can be with technology.
Yeah. I work in IT and my wife is constantly like, what's wrong with my phone? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, you work in IT. And I'm like,
did you reset it?
Yeah. Turn your phone off.
That's what I always have.
Or
did you reset it?
Or she'll tell me like something's wrong with my computer or my D2L Blackboard, this, that. And I'm like, I can't help you. And then she's like, but you work in IT. And I'm like,
So
yeah, I do work in IT. And I have no idea what you've done to your computer.
did you reset it?
Turn it off, turn it back on, log out, clear
Log
your
out.
cookies. All right, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's hilarious.
A lot of times it's just clear your cookies.
Clear your cookie, clear your cache,
All
clear your
right.
cache. Try to
Yeah.
restart. Try
Your login token's got the wrong
That's
permissions
reverse.
associated.
That's
Log
like
in, clear your cookies.
standard SOP.
Yeah,
Clear cache, restart.
yeah. That computer's done. Throw it in the trash. Buy another one.
Another one.
All
All
right.
right, I'll see you.
Bye.
tomorrow.
Goodbye, Deacon. We'll see you tomorrow. I hope you